Hi, and welcome to Prepping Essentials.
Regular viewers to the channel will recognise this is one of my storage cupboards for long-term food stores. Majority of items in here are cans, either meals in a tin or meats. There's a few other bits and bobs like dried milk and some noodles, but majority is long-term storage. And this is another video about cooking with your long-term food store preps. And in particular today I thought I'd do something on the subject of pasta. What's it going to be? Let's find out. When it comes to pasta, most people I guess would automatically think of tomato sauce. And you can get a variety of either cartons of ready-made tomato sauce for pasta, or you can get a variety of different jars. Some is just tomatoes, some have other things like garlic or mushrooms. But using up your long-term food stores, particularly canned goods, I think it wouldn't take long to get sick of having tomato every day on your meals. So I thought I'd do something a little bit different today. Still with pasta, but not the traditional tomato sauce that most people think about. So here we are in the kitchen, and I've got my ingredients and utensils laid out on the countertop. In terms of utensils, very simple. I can do this in a one pot. You could use two if you want, if you're that fussy, but I figure that in a grid down scenario you want to use one pot for cooking, not two, save fuel, and similarly you're saving on washing up. Couple of stirring and cutting utensils. I've got a sieve. Don't have to have that. You can use the lid to drain the pasta when you've cooked it. It's just for ease really. But in terms of ingredients, starting off with our basic bag of pasta. You'll know from previous videos I prep lots of this. I buy it in 500 gram bags, which gives you 5 servings in that bag. And right now, if you're in the UK and you pop into Aldi's, you'll find this on sale for 29 pence. 29 pence for 500 grams, it's a bargain. It really is, and it won't stay that way, so get it while you can. 3 ingredients in this: pasta as the base. In terms of a sauce, I stock a variety of different soups for use either as a snack, or in this case I'm going to use this chicken soup as a sauce for the pasta. And then the third ingredient, don't curl your noses up, it's a can of hot dogs. I'm using these because they're in my preps. I use them all the time, both in preps and in daily cooking for snacks. The idea behind this series of videos, cooking with your preps, is just that. It's what things you might have in long-term storage, and as you come to the expiry date and it comes time to rotate them out of your long-term store, you've got to use them somehow. So this is just a little bit of a take, something different to use your preps for when cooking. Bit of salt and pepper to use for seasons, but it's 3 basic ingredients to make this meal. If you have curled your nose up at the thought of using hot dog sausages, you could use other meats that you have in your preps. For example, I stock lots of cans of this ham, so you could use that in the same way that I'll use the hot dog sausages. And again, this is a meal for 2, even though there is only me. I figured I'd make a meal for 2 out of the preps. If you wanted to bulk this out to make it go a little bit further, you could simply add other cans from your preps. For example, you could add some sweet corn, or perhaps if you store it, you could use some sliced mushrooms. I'm not going to use those, I'm just going to use the 3 ingredients, but as I say, with any of the things that I do to do with cooking, it isn't rocket science. You can make it up as you go along. Just store what you eat and eat what you store. So first thing we need to do is get this pasta measured out into the pan and get that boiling, and then we'll sort out the other ingredients. So I've popped the pan on to boil, and it is now boiling. So measured out 100 grams per person, so this is a 2-person meal, 200 grams of pasta. Just simply pop that into there, into the boiling water, give it a quick stir, and we'll go back to the other ingredients while that gets back up to temperature and starts to boil again. We'll leave that to boil for about 8 to 9 minutes. Okay, so our pasta is merrily simmering away. I just dropped the heat down once I'd brought it back to the boil to a little simmer, then just popped in a little couple of grinds of salt. So that'll just sit there, as I said, between 8 to 9 minutes, shouldn't take any longer than that. Can of soup, give that a quick shake up, because it always sticks to the inside of the can. This is a ring pull, so this is dead easy. I don't need to mess about. Pop that in the bin. We'll just pop that to one side to wait. Can of hot dogs, unfortunately, is not a ring pull. So we need to open those up. Do that over the sink, because these cans have a habit of sharing the liquid contents all over the kitchen top when you open the can. Drain those out, lid into the bin, give it a little rinse. That's the pasta boiling over. The joys of live cooking. So we'll simply pop these out onto the chopping board, get myself a little dish, and all we're simply going to do is just cut these into nice little thin salami style slices. Don't know if you can see that or not on the camera. Very simple. Just cutting a little bit of an angle. Hot dogs are trying to escape. These kinds of hot dogs that I get, they have 8 sausages per can, so each person in this meal, in theory, is getting 4 of these sausages. As I said, you don't have to use these. I know some people have a bit of a phobia about them. I'm not quite sure why that is, because when something hits the fan, I think after a couple of days of not eating, you would be treating hot dog sausages as a gourmet delight. One thing about this is, apart from the fact that it's cheap and easy, is that it's very quick. It's literally under 10 minutes to get this done. So we've got our hot dog sausages ready, we've got our chicken soup ready. All we're waiting for now is the pasta to finish cooking. Just do make sure that you regularly check your pasta and you keep giving it a bit of a stir around. Pasta's notorious for sticking if you don't keep an eye on it, and similarly if you let the water boil too much. So I tend to let mine simmer. Occasionally I'll pop the temperature back up just to, like I am now, get it back up to boiling again, but don't just leave it sat there on its own. It's only 8 or 9 minutes, so it's not going to kill you to sit there and just give it a stir every now and again. Okay, so I've taken our pasta off the heat. It's a bit subjective with pasta for people. Everybody has their own taste. I like mine to be a little bit firm. Al dente, I think, is the posh expression for that. But this is done for now. It was 9 minutes. So I'm just going to pop that into a sieve. Let the water drain out for a second. It doesn't take too long. Some people say to rinse the pasta. I guess it depends what it is that you're doing with it. Because I'm putting sauce into this, it helps a little bit. If you don't rinse, you get the starch still on the pasta straws or tubes or whatever pasta it is you're using, and it helps the sauce to stick to the pasta. So pasta's in the dish, in the pan. Pour in the contents of your can of chicken soup. And similarly, your hot dog sausages. Don't know if you can see that on there. Hopefully you can. I guess I'll find out when I do the editing. And then just simply give that a little stir around to mix everything together. And all we're doing now is popping it back onto a low heat. The pasta's clearly cooked. All we want to do now is to warm through the chicken soup and the hot dog sausages. Again, I'm not sure if you'll be able to pick that up or not on the camera. Hopefully you will. Everything's nicely mixed through. Pop that back onto the heat. Remember, it's a low heat, it's not a boil. And just let that warm through, and we'll come back to that in a minute or two. Please do be sure to regularly move this around and to keep the heat fairly low as it heats through, because you haven't got all of that water in the pan that you had before when you were cooking the pasta. You've just got the sauce, and I guarantee you walk away for 30 seconds and it will stick. So do please, only for a couple of minutes while it heats through, just give it a bit of attention and move it around. Okay, I've just let that run for about 3 minutes, I guess. To heat everything through. Just pop that onto there. So, proof of the pudding, they say, is in the eating. So let's plate this up. I'm praying that that is completely in camera shot there. So all we're doing, pop it onto a plate. Make sure that you get lots of meat. So I really do like my meat, I have to say. Even the meat that people turn their noses up. It's amazing how many YouTube videos I've seen where people have cooked with hot dog sausages, and in the comments section there's been lots of comments about how terrible hot dog sausages are. Everyone has their own taste, and like I said earlier, if something hits the fan, it would be a gourmet meal. So as you can see from the pan, there is absolutely loads in there. I mean, that's a sizable portion. There's probably another 2 portions in that pan, so rather than being a meal for 2, you could actually get away with a meal for 3 there. I'll put that to one side for now. So we've got our plate of pasta, chicken soup and hot dog sausages. You are going to definitely want to just pop yourself a few bits of bread on there as well. And of course a little bit of salt and pepper to taste. So there we go. Your prepper pantry using your long-term food stores. A nice chicken pasta with meat meal for two. I did say that at the end of the video I would give you a bit of a breakdown on what exactly is in the meal in terms of calories, etc. In each serving there's 750 calories, 42 grams of carbs, 20 grams of protein and 23 grams of fat. In terms of cost, this is amazingly cheap, but cost does depend when you buy your long-term food stores, and I've been doing that for quite a long time, but I did have a little check just to make sure that the prices were still current. The pasta bags, as I said, right now you can get it for 29 pence for 500 kilos, and I used 200 kilos in this, so 12 pence. Chicken soup in a can, 35 pence. Hot dog sausages in a can, 49 pence. So there's easily a meal for two, almost three I would say, looking at what's left in the pan, for a grand total of 96 pence. More importantly, when something hits the fan, it's a nice filling meal with lots of nutritional value in it. Very quick to make, very easy using your preps, and again, very cheap. Hope you enjoyed that. I'm certainly going to, because I'm going to eat it now.
Well, that's it for this video. I hope you found something in there that was of interest to you. If you did like the video, please do click on the like button. Also feel free to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. As always, welcome any comments, questions or suggestions you might have. What do you think? Is that something that you might try yourself? Do you have any special prepper pantry type recipes you might want to share with people? If so, leave a comment in the comment section below. But for now, thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.